Hello everybody, Mariner here. Welcome to Net That Hall and another matchup show. It only seems like yesterday that we're on game. It's been a couple of days longer than that, but how are you, my friend?
I'm recovering. I'm tired. It does feel like yesterday, or maybe even just last night. We just did a matchup show, but this will be good to just kind of straighten things out in our heads and get us ready in a quick game week. So happy to be here. Let's go.
Yeah, and for once, the game week was over in a couple of days, and boy, did I like that.
Yeah,
that
was nice.
Just done. Game over. Just to give people a quick update on what we're doing with no guests tonight, because we're just going to literally rattle through this because we've got such a short gap between 36, 37. We're just going to get this out of the way. We will be back with another matchup show before the all-important 38. That'll be on Friday night, Singapore time, Friday morning for you, Gabe, just in case you forget. and we will also be doing a watch-along on game week 38. And at the moment, I think we've got Surya, we've got Shom, we've got KT from Fantasy Football Titans, and we've got Josh from FPL Only La in Singapore as well. So we've got a few guests. We're going to try and get a few more. And hopefully we can have a good giggle on the last.
That'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a nice way. I think it'll be cathartic for those that aren't on the beach yet.
That's what I want, actually, because I want to see some pain and suffering. You know me, I like that. I want to see people with the live FPLs seeing their ranks drop. You'll probably see mine drop, actually. It'll be mine which drops almost certainly. So we'll see how it goes. It should be good fun anyway. Very quickly, let's get the usual bits and bobs out of the way. As I say, we're Net That Hall. Please give us a like, hit the button, hit the bell for subscriptions. Subs are going up really quick, really rapidly. You never know, we might even be at 500 before the weekend. Who knows? But we just thank you very much for everything for all the support you've given us this season. I really do. I'm sure you say the same, Gab.
And also, it's been incredible the amount of support. But I think we have to give credit where credit is due. And the robot is working for us really well. The robot,
the metric.
Yeah.
Someone said earlier on, how does it work? I said, I don't know. It's a bloody computer.
Exactly.
I just put some numbers in it. Anyway, right, and we're also a pod. So if you are walking the dog or you're lucky enough to be on the beach like Gabe, do put it in your ears as well. So here we go. There's the hat as usual. All right, so let's get into it. So what we're going to do for a start, and this is slightly different to normal. We're not going to talk about our own game weeks. We're going to talk about the game week. But I think there might be a little bit of our own game weeks come into the discussions as we go through it. So let's quickly talk about the game week just gone. And normally we'd do this with the Compass show, and I'll put that onto the screen now so you can see it. And normally we would talk through the predictions and this, that, and the other. We're not going to talk about our predictions, but I will give you the result at the end. But the games as we go through them. So first of all, Newcastle 3, Man City 4. I'll give you the stats. Newcastle, 10 shots in the box, 3 big chances, 2.45 XG. City, 7 shots in the box, 2 big chances, 1.68 XG. Mate, Ferran Torres, you had him.
The craziest thing. Well, I set my team. I was ready to go, and I had Gundogan, Foden, and Mendy because of what you and Nima said about Mendy on the Compass show last week, that he doesn't usually sub in. So it's and I go and I'm in LA saying goodbye to all my friends, and I go and I play my last game in LA with all my friends. I've been playing in the same game every Friday for about 8 years now, and it's halftime, and I go and I check my phone. I see all this storm about Sam Lee's leaks, and I'm like, okay, and I just went, I'm like, look, Ferran Torres is most likely in. I think he might play the 9. It's like if he's on playing the 9 and not playing the right wing the way he did at Valencia, I want him. And at that price, I was like, it was basically to get another Man City player in would have required a lot of surgery. Ferran Torres was an easy swap from Foden to Torres. I went with him, and Nailed it. And then, but I also switched Mendy for Zinchenko, which was great. Well, great. He didn't. I only got 1 point from Konza, but still, it was the right call, I guess.
I mean, that's the beauty of being in the right time zone to hear. Even it wasn't a leak; it was more of a gut than a leak, wasn't it? I don't think it was it wasn't a full blown leak like we used to get last year.
It was suggestions and feelings. It was not a leak. You're right.
No. But like I say, I could have done with that, but I was fast asleep. I was looking at the inside of my eyelids as usual at that time of the morning.
But I mean, I think we need to criticize Pep here, right? Because he comes out with that makeshift. We talked about on the show last week how he needs to come out with his full back line to get him ready for the final and everything. Comes out with a makeshift back line against a resurgent Newcastle team. And pays the price. Like, come on, man! You got to play your players.
He's ruining my fixture difficulty. I'll say that. I mean, look, let's quickly look at it. Ferran Torres, 3 goals, fantastic, including that wonderful flick. That was an amazing goal.
Awesome.
Joe Linton penalty. My chair's collapsed as usual with him. Someone suggested bringing Joe Linton in today, and then he fell off my chair. Willock penalty, albeit saved, and then he put it away. Like Scott Carson, who gets 8 points.
Brilliant.
What's going on? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know. I'll tell you what, it's ruining that. Don't bother looking at when you look at the fixture difficulty. Look at the matchups for City because they're absolutely awful now. I'll be honest. After all this, after this mess about, it's incredible. They don't get on the metric because they've not played. The fixture difficulty's fallen through the floor. I've never seen it vary so much. It's crazy. Moving on. Burnley against Leeds. Here's another crazy one. 4-0. But not by the numbers. Burnley, 9 shots in the box. Oh, sorry, 9 shots in the box, yes. 3 big chances, 1.75 XG. Vidra, as a Vidra owner, that save by Melier killed me.
Yeah.
Just destroyed me.
And you've been suffering through your Vidra ownership. It's like he could have repaid you here.
Well, between me and you, we might become Harry Kane this week. He can become Harry Kane, actually. Leeds, 9 shots in the box, 3 big chances, 1.99 XG. Fantasy assist for Rafinha, very nice, thank you very much. A fluky clean sheet for Dallas, thank you very much. And it was a fluke. That was really lucky. You know, when you say you get good luck and bad luck in a year, that was good luck. I'll tell you who impressed me. I thought Harrison looked super.
Yeah. And Harrison has had the thing with Harrison when he's in form, he really looks great. He's super dynamic. He penetrates really well. And then the thing I like about him is after he penetrates, he has his head up and he can usually find either a shot or a good pass or something. He does something after penetration where some people or some players will go that penetrate and then they run out of ideas.
Well, like what?
Yeah. Like the guy on a free hit.
Oh god!
The problem with Harrison, right, is he often gets subbed. It could be a tactical substitution. It could be a halftime. There have been several times this season where he hasn't played the full 60, so he comes with risk.
No, he does. And what about Rodrigo? He's already started to affect Bamford. Is really thinning Bamford's minutes down. And credit again, Siver won't take the credit for this because he said he picked it up from somewhere else. But I listened to Banger's podcast the other week. I didn't bring Bamford in for that reason. I'm even less likely to have brought Bamford in now. Rodrigo looks super again. You know, he's coming off the bench. Is he going to start? I probably think not. But coming off the bench for 30 minutes in the form he's in is also an opportunity. Is also a Vidra replacement for me at this moment in time, if I wanted to, perhaps. I don't know. It's a bit risky.
Rodrigo I've followed him for years, and he has these moments of brilliance where you're like, wow, what a player. And then he seems lost for a while. And I think that's why he's kind of struggled to get any kind of consistency in the team. But I will say I'm wearing a Newell's Old Boys shirt in honor of Newell's.
Right.
So If the Nils is famous for, well, number one, that's where Bielsa came from.
Right.
So this is in honor of Bielsa and that resounding win, and well, more so in honor of just the way Leeds are playing without having anything to play for, and I think that is admirable, and I respect that.
Yeah, but when you've got that animal sat on that bucket screaming at you, is there any wonder you play?
Exactly.
I mean,
well,
I tell you what, if I was a footballer, it scared the living shit out of me. I know, it's unbelievable. No wonder they play.
That's why we call him. Everybody in Latin America calls him El Loco Bielsa. He's a madman. He is absolutely a madman. Yeah. Messi and Maradona also came from Newell's as well. So
fair enough. We'll skip past Southampton 3, Fulham 1. Southampton, okay. Fulham defending was awful.
Yeah.
You know, Adams scored. He shouldn't even have got anywhere near that ball, in my opinion. But I think that's all we need to say about that. I'm not really that interested in either of those teams now going towards the end of the season. Brighton against West Ham, another pretty boring sort of game. I have to say, I thought Welbeck took his goal well, and Ben Rama finally has showed some of the skill that we know he's got, but he hasn't shown yet this season. He'll be an interesting one for next season. That goal might do him some good. But I mean, again, you know, just big chances. Brighton had a couple of big chances. West Ham, 3 big chances, but Lingard was absent. AWOL. Is it Lingard? No. Rather than Lingardi.
Lingon.
Is it Lingon? Should I sell him?
I mean, I think it depends. With so much else going on, with teams on the beach, Jota getting injured, if you're transferring Lingard out, it's probably that like your team is in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I have no injuries. Yeah, I have no injuries for once.
Right. Well, the other thing is Lingard. He's never been an XG player, right? He's always been one that defies the stats a little bit. So
he's certainly done that since I brought him in. I think it was something like 7-2-2-1-2. I think something like that. I love it. But anyway, you know what will be. I still don't think West Ham. Looking at the XG, looking at the big chances, I don't necessarily think they're a total sell. I just really think Antonio's a better option than Lingard.
Yes.
Next, Crystal Palace 3, Aston Villa 2. What on earth is going on with Aston Villa? I mean, they have 100% got on a plate to Portugal today, this last week. You know, they must have been waiting for the holidays to open up in the UK, and they've gone, man.
Gone. I mean,
the Algarve.
Martinez is still there, but it's just not enough.
I mean, Aston Villa.
Now Cash is injured.
But they conceded 15 shots in the box against Crystal Palace. What's going on here? I mean, they're playing Spurs next. It could be carnage.
Yeah. And I hear Matty Cash is out. Is that right? I believe.
I've not. I didn't see. Let me look. I've got Premier injuries up here, so I'll have to have a look, see if I can see it. Although saying that, I've got a stupid bloody advert on the screen now, as usual. Villa, Cash, yes, out for the season, correct.
Yeah, so I mean, I like Son again, and I know I didn't nail it on the matchups between Son and Kane last week, but you know, with Matty Cash out,
it's El Mohammadi, right?
Exactly. Son against Al Mohammadi. Son is a legit captain shout for game week 37.
Interesting. I mean, look, I'm going to say this as well. Anyone who had Gaeta, I'm very sorry for you because because Butland went in goal. These goalkeepers. I mean, people bringing Edison in on free hit. Fucking hell.
FPL is gonna have are we gonna have to get 2 playing goalkeepers next season? Is this gonna be a thing? Goalkeeper rotation? What the?
You've got to use that a bit of a loose term, really, because I have Areola, so he turns up, he doesn't really play.
Yeah, fair enough.
He did. He played a bit at the start, halfway through the season. He kept a few clean sheets, but not since. I've been trying to sell him for about 12 weeks. Mitchell, now, come on. Who owns Mitchell in this chat? Come on, let's see you.
Anyone owns him?
He basically sort of like shouldered, chest, stomach the ball into the net, didn't he?
Hey, it counts. Whatever works.
Yeah, of course. It's always like, look at cricket. If you edge one through the slips, it's 4 runs. It doesn't matter whether it's gone through the slips or whether it's gone straight over the bowler's head. It's still 4. I
have no idea what you just said.
I don't know what cricket is. That's for the Indian. That's for the Indians, and that's for the Indians in the chat. Hi guys. Yeah, Benteke could have had. I mean, Surya, fair play, Surya. Yeah, Benteke could have had a couple actually, apart from an absolute crazy save by Martinez actually. So yeah, that's enough of that one. Villa.
Benteke, he's turned into like prime Benteke when Villa were in the Premiership but didn't get relegated, like like those few seasons before they got relegated, and Benteke was smashing it. And Tom from Who Got the Assist brought him in as well. It's just like I love that people are getting points off of a player like that.
I mean, look, if anyone brought Mitchell, well, nobody would bring Mitchell in, but I'm sure he's probably been an enabler for you. And if that's the week you play him and you get away with it, good on you. I say, I'm not pissed off. I'm genuinely not. I did get a red arrow, by the way, but only a small one. Moving on, Spurs against Wolves. So here we go. Spurs, 15 shots in the box, 5 big chances, 3.65 XG. Wolves, 12 shots in the box, 1 big chance, 1.04. Crazy game.
Yeah.
Crazy game. But Kane hit the post twice. He looked fairly sharp, although he did miss he did miss a chance you'd expect Kane probably to put away normally. Bale with the assist. Again, at home. Bale is a home player, in my opinion. Yeah. That's where he gets his points. And he's at home again this week. So we may come back to that, gentleman. I know he's not top of your Christmas card list, but
I can't fault the Bale pick this week at home. He has been so just incredible. Villa's so poor; they're done. I mean, absolutely can't fault the Bale pick. I will not be ridiculing Bale this week on the show.
No, well, I mean, but even then, Wolves still very poor. I know they had 12 shots in the box, but 12 shots in the box, 1 big chance for 1.04 XG tells me, they're not really. It's shots, but it's not necessarily good quality ones, right? Or maybe blocked ones, perhaps as well. West Brom, Liverpool. Here we go. Now then, let's have a chat about this one. I predicted last week that West Brom would score first. I thought they might. I had a funny feeling. I actually said that Pereira would score. He actually got the assist.
Yeah,
but it didn't surprise me at all. But I just think now Liverpool as a defensive stock are shot to bits. Shot to bits. Liverpool now are basically saying, you score 3, we'll score 4. That's basically how they're playing now. I'm convinced of it. They're just gonna go for it for the rest of I think there'll be goals in. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet for the rest of the season, if you ask me.
Really, even with the fixtures they have.
I don't think so. No, I just think they'll concede. West Brom, 8 shots in the box, 3 big chances. Robson Kanu has started a game for a few. He absolutely all over the place. 1.44 XG. Liverpool, 14 shots in the box, 2 big chances, 1.92. I mean, Mane, he was one of our picks, wasn't he? He missed a super chance. He could have had an assist if Firmino had hit the post, and he had the ball in the net for offside.
Yeah, it could have been such a monster haul. It would have been so huge. So The call was right. I stand by the call of Mane captain. It didn't work out. Salah got the goal. I'm happy Mane got a return. He did get the assist. But that's a call it's one of those FPL ones. Like, we did everything right. We thought about it correctly, and it just didn't pan.
I agree. And look, it was a weekend of emotion, not least at the FA Cup final with Leicester winning the cup. I was delighted for them, actually, and especially for the owner. It's not very often that I get a lump in my throat, but I did. I genuinely did, watching the celebration there. And another time I got a lump in my throat, believe it or not, was for Alisson. I mean, what a header. And then to see his celebration and to look at the sky, and he dedicated it to his dad. He couldn't get back for his dad's funeral, because of the COVID situation. Fair play, mate. You deserved it. What a goal! And thanks for the assist, Trent. Although, quite frankly, you did nothing else.
But again, I'll harken back to last week's show where we said that that left side, right, West Brom's left side is not the side to attack them, and Trent was probably going to be held back because of Mateus Pereira on West Brom's left side, holding him back. And true to form, that's what happened. And Salah didn't combine with Trent very much. Oh man, I so wish this game would have gone just a little bit differently, so I can be touting the matchups. But
we're still doing okay, because that Pereira shout was a good shout. Pereira shout was a good shout. Mane still returned. We can't complain too much. We've got another success as well, which I'm gonna shout out in a minute, even though you didn't believe me. Come on to that in a minute. And the last one, Everton against Sheffield United. You poor devils. Anyone who trebled up on Everton, I know why you did. Everybody knows why you did. But look, 12 shots in the box, 2 big chances, 1.77 for Everton. Sheffield United, 5 shots in the box, 2 big chances, 1.23. Binary Brewster didn't even make it onto the pitch. 17-year-old Jebison. And to be honest, he could have had a couple.
Yep.
He looked sharp, actually. He looked quite sharp. I don't know. I reckon Everton will have. I think there'll be a reaction. I don't think it's panic stations just yet. I've got a feeling Ancelotti. I think there was pots, pans, and all sorts flying around in the changing room at the end. Don't you think?
No, I don't.
Do you think not
like that? No.
Well, I thought he was. He looked pissed off when I watched.
But he was pissed, but Ancelotti's an introvert. And this is why, this happened to Everton last season, where they were safe, not much to play for. I think Ancelotti's a realist. He knows they're not going to push for much. so and the same thing happened last season. He just, they just kind of shut down. It's his personality. He's an introvert. He's low energy, and he's like, well, this sucks.
Just a silent assassin. Right. All right, then. That's even worse.
It's the silent ones that smell the worst.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, if it was me, there'd be pots and pans flying around. I'll tell you. I'm not a football manager. I mean, one of my favourite. I'll tell you the story. Grimsby had a player from Juventus once called Ivano Bonetti. He was fabulous. His best player I've ever seen at Grimsby. And Brian Laws broke his cheekbone with a plate of chicken. That's we saw him. Brilliant. That's what's happening. They put each other as well. Right. So that's the result. So let's get all that out of the way. And now we're going to look at the other review of this week, which was the Algo. And that's what we.
Sorry about that. Damn Algo. Maybe it's not just coffee in here, huh?
I don't know. Anyway, right, I'm going to try and concentrate without falling around laughing. So anyway, the algorithm got 55 points, which actually is just over the average, and it beat the Scout by 1. So we'll take that. We'll take the Scout. I mean, look, it struggled because, of course, it had Coleman and it had Mendy in there as well.
I had El Ghazi. Love it.
Yeah, and El Ghazi in there. But El Ghazi's the point. That's the one I want to make the point. El Ghazi was the differential, and he returned. Mane returned. Everton, however, were disappointing, and that basically cost it. To be honest, I think it was that which cost it. And also, up front, what a shambles. Wood, Ings, and DCL. You wouldn't have expected no returns among them, would you?
I called the Ings last week on the matchup show. I did not like Ings. And the idea was his team is on the beach.
Yeah.
And that's going to affect him. And it did. And then Tella comes on and scores.
Yeah. Anyway, so there we go. What on earth to do? Well, at least Dallas came on, so at least I got Dallas onto the pitch. So that's one thing. Let's have a look at Mo Captain as well. Let's keep moving. I want to start now looking at this week, and I think this is where the things that people are more interested in anyway. So let's look at the fixture difficulty, which is as of now updated for the last 2 game weeks. And what you'll see on the screen, for the benefit of those who are watching, is you'll see red boxing gloves. That means teams have got something to fight for, or individuals within the team have got something to fight for. And you'll now see little green houses, which means you're at home, because there are fans in the ground as of this week. And that was another nice thing about the FA Cup final. Fans.
It was kind of, it reminded you what the experience was like. Not only has this season been just extremely difficult in terms of the way the games have been scheduled, and we go one game then another game, but every game lacks that excitement of the fans, so it's that much heavier. And watching this game, it was like opening a bottle of champagne, and just this explosion of joy, and it was so nice to see, great to see. Obviously commiserations to Chelsea. We have Harry in the chat, the huge Chelsea fan. So I don't know if Harry was in the stadium or not.
He was there. Yeah, I think he was.
Was he there?
I think so. At least he was there. At least he was in a crowd, a football crowd.
Exactly.
What would I do to be in a football crowd now? My God. Yeah. But yeah, it's never nice to lose at Wembley. We've lost there a few times. Quite a few. Let's look at this fixture difficulty then. So let's go from the top down attack-wise. So Liverpool have something to play for still, very much so, and still ranked top with 0.4, which make, again, 0's best, 7 worst. But they've come off a little bit, tiny bit.
They got worse, didn't they?
Tiny bit. They've got a little bit worse. Leicester 2.1, Chelsea 2.2, Newcastle and West Brom 2.4. Just shows that even if you've got nothing to play for, sometimes the shackles come off and you start enjoying yourself. And I think those two perhaps are in that mode. Whereas at the other end, Fulham 5.4, Sheffield United 5.3, Wolves 5.2, Everton 4.3. Maybe they're going the other way.
Yeah.
Although Sheffield United are playing the kids now. So let's see, that might change.
Well, before we move on there, I also want to highlight Spurs. They're much improved.
Yeah, they're on the way up. Yeah, 2.6.
And Man City, look how low Man City is, lower, below Southampton, below Arsenal.
Well, yeah, 12. I think, is it? Yeah, 12, 3.4.
Yeah, 12. Not good.
No, but that's not surprising because they've been rotating like now for well over 6 weeks, and this 6 weeks, the 6-week metric, right? And looking at the other side of things, defense-wise, at the top, Chelsea still at home this week and with something to play for. Arsenal second, interesting. Brighton 2.1 third, Manchester City fourth. Defense seems still to be playing for something. I think probably for to be selected in a cup final, perhaps. Whereas I think the forwards are almost at the point where they're not going to get a chance to play anyway. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'll tell you what is interesting. Look at the bottom. Liverpool, third from bottom now, defence.
Wow.
They've been there before this season. They've been there
below
before.
Sheffield United. Below Sheffield United.
Yeah. That tells you exactly what I said earlier on. I am bloody convinced that they will not keep a clean sheet for the rest of the season. Even with those, I just think the shackles are off. I think teams will go for it. I really fancy Chris Wood or even Vidra to score this. God help me if I sold him. Yeah, I don't know. It might be a McNeil's belter. I don't know. But no, I fancy Burnley to get something. I still think they won't have enough to hold Liverpool back, but I think they'll get something. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Liverpool don't concede in the last game. But I still stand by what I'm saying. Liverpool are going to dish out a hammering between now and the end of the season, in my opinion. But yeah, at the bottom, Newcastle, Fulham, Liverpool, Southampton, Sheffield United, West Brom. Newcastle, again, just seem to the shackles are off. I just think they're just enjoying themselves, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting that Steve Bruce is entertaining. Like he's just playing an entertaining side. It's like Steve Bruce, always known as the boring.
I enjoy the fans' comments about Steve Bruce. That's more entertaining.
What's that?
I hate him. They
hate him.
Oh, they just hate him. I think they just don't like him. I think they don't like him or the owner. It's a shame. Yeah, they're a lovely bunch up there. I've had many a great night out in Newcastle.
One comment I want to mention here about the FDR is notice how it seems to be favoring attack these days. If we look at in the defense, it gets a 3.8 at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And in attack, you have to get to 12 to get kind of like Crystal Palace at 3.9 to get to the same level. So it's very much invest money in attack is what the FDR is telling us.
Well, the Algo has been doing it all the way along. It's only ever put 3 defenders in so far.
Yeah.
It's only ever put 3 defenders in. I'm still not 100% convinced how it works, but I'm still trying to work it out myself. But no, I mean, the other thing I would say is that these boxing gloves, which you can see on the screen, look at where they are. They're predominantly at the top on both. They're predominantly the higher ranks. So these teams with something to play for are tend to be at the top end of the fixture difficulties. It's not uncommon, is it, this time of season? But I will say, look, I mean, I've got loads of questions coming on Twitter in the last day or two. What do I do with this? Do you think he'll start? Do you think he'll start? How do you think they'll do with fans? I have no bloody idea with a lot of it. And I think, to be honest, I'd be lying if I did, because I'm not sure how some of these teams are going to react with fans. I'm not sure how much it's going to affect fixture difficulty with fans against not, because we haven't got a lot to measure it against. We mentioned this on last week, and I think that's the challenge. What I have done is I have changed the captain metric, but I haven't published it. And it is actually now fixture difficulty for home and away for this season alone. And it has changed 1 or 2 little things, and I'll show you that later, just as a little, should we say, just to whet the appetite, perhaps, for going forwards. But yeah, so that's that. So now let's look at the next slide, which is the fixture difficulty by fixtures. And again, as usual, I've highlighted a few bits and bobs, and I'm just going to raise a few, rather than going fixture to fixture like we do on the compass. We're not going to do that, because at the end of the day, we're talking about, it's more to do with the matchups. So what I think we do here, Gabe, is we look at these games and we say, right, okay, the first thing which jumps out to me right at the top, Arsenal look to have a decent matchup against Palace defensively, but we know what might happen there, right? Because Palace are at home. You see what I mean? And this is where the fixtures, this is where we start to get some. So, you know, take this with a pinch of salt. Will Arsenal keep a clean sheet at Crystal Palace in front of fans for the first time in God knows how long, even with that fixture difficulty? I'm not sure they will. Right. I'm really not sure they will. Let's keep going down. Brighton, still good fixture difficulty against Manchester City. In fact, Brighton have a positive defensive fixture difficulty against Manchester City, if you can believe it. I mean, look, if City turn a team out, which are they going to have to put a strong side out soon? Because I think what's going to happen is you've got to get some momentum going into the final, going into that final, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, even to get momentum, it's more about just familiarity, understanding and familiarity, and continuity, and they have none of that. I don't know if Pep is trying to maybe be too clever and not show his hand to Chelsea. But when you have the best players in the league by far and just as good a second team, do you have to hide it? Just go and play your best and then outplay the other team, right? That's
I tend to agree.
I thought that would happen against Newcastle, so I don't know. It's hard to say what.
No, I don't. But I'll tell you what is interesting is the next one down there. Burnley have a 2.2 positive against Liverpool. Burnley attack 2.2 positive against Liverpool defence. See what I mean about possibly conceding?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could see them conceding against Burnley.
Yeah.
Against Wood. Yeah. But I thought Wood would score this week, so.
Well, absolutely. But then you look just along and you can see Burnley's defence matchup against Liverpool is minus 3.5. So that, this is, it's got 3 or 4-1 all over it to me. If you ask me there, this could be the one they dish out. I don't know. Hard to say. Going a little bit further down, obviously there's Liverpool's positive. Manchester United against Fulham is positive for both attack and defence, 2.3 and 2. I only hold 2 Manchester United players now in Shaw and Greenwood because I moved Bruno out for Mane last week. I don't think I'll be bringing Bruno back because I think he might only play one out the next 2. Being honest with you, but I am a bit worried because that looks like a very juicy matchup for Manchester United.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people did was maybe people may have sold Bruno to fund Kane.
Yeah.
And, Kane going for the golden boot, it seems like he's motivated to get there, but this matchup is one that I would be afraid to not own Bruno. I thankfully do still own him, but I don't own Kane, so I'm worried about Kane. So either way, you're going to be worried about someone. You can't have them all, right?
No. And Kane could have destroyed my rank last week, but he didn't, thankfully.
Thankfully.
Bruno might do it this week, but holding Greenwood is maybe a little bit of a, so she would say, an ace in the pack because I do think Greenwood might get something as well.
Big Man Bakar posted some stats earlier today comparing Bruno and Greenwood. Here we go. So Greenwood. So this is at Big Man Bakar on Twitter. I'm sure everybody knows him. Legend, this guy. So let's see. Past 6 matches: Greenwood versus Bruno. Minutes per shot in the box: 22.25 for Greenwood, 38.03 for Bruno. Minutes per big chance: 118.7 for Greenwood, 228.5 for Bruno. But minutes per XGI is 121 for Greenwood and 109 for Bruno. So his creation, his chance creation and assist potential is still elevates him, still keeps him obviously in the fold. But as far as goal scoring, and it's to be expected, right? The Greenwood has the better stats.
Yeah, sure. And I'm sure that Shaw's going to get something this week. Well, if he doesn't, I'm going to sell him anyway. I can't believe this in the last few weeks. I really can't. Just the last one on the fixture difficulty here. Newcastle against Sheffield United. Very positive matchup. It's a shame. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm really going to have to go to confession. It's a shame Callum Wilson isn't fit.
It really is.
It really is a shame. That said, I really, really, really like the look of Joe Willock.
He's hard to ignore now, right?
And he's a punt for the week, I think. He's probably my punt of the week, I think, here. I mean, I like St. Maximin because you spot him with his headband. It's always good to watch. It's like that grey horse, as I keep saying about horse racing. But no, I think Willock, for me, I think with that matchup, it's really tasty. And then if you look into the next column, you'll see that the matchup against Fulham is equally tasty the week after. And that's why I think Willock attracts me. because I think he'll play. I've got a feeling he'll play the last two. And I just like the look of those matchups. I think they look really cool.
Yeah, I don't disagree. He's a risk, right? And that's why he's a punt, because we haven't seen enough of him. But what we've seen certainly recently, it's hard. He's hard to ignore. Now, whether you go and I haven't seen the stats of Willock compared to Saint-Maximin. Haven't looked at that yet. So, well, yeah, I don't know. I think either one could haul.
I looked at the stats of Willock and Lingard, and I'm going to put them on the screen on Fantasy Football Hub. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. It's crazy. So Willock's in blue, look. So, crazy. Expected points, 15. Per game. Is that per game still? No, there we go. 7.7 against 4.9. XG 0.86 against 0.33. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go through all the numbers, but we only have to look here, don't we? We can see here just how well, how good he looks. Crazy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. So that, to me, it says, and again, you know me, I'm a numbers man. And also, he passes the eye test to me. He just looks like he's going to be involved. Very quickly, before we move off this, I just want to now just quickly touch on the overalls here. So we can see Liverpool still very positive. So this is the overall. I've missed the line off the top, I'm afraid. We see Arsenal still have pretty good fixture difficulty last two for defence. So we've got Burnley attack, Chelsea defence, Liverpool attack, Manchester City defence, Manchester United defence, Newcastle attack, and West Brom attack are probably the top the matchups to be looking for. And the last thing I want to mention here, which is the very end, is the form. And if you look here, Burnley's form for attack is green. They've improved no end compared to the start of the season, as have Newcastle, as have West Brom. This is just cementing everything we've just been saying. You can see which teams are playing. The shackles are off, in my view.
Yeah.
But we know what happened with Dijk. At the moment the moment Barcelona turned up, and then he just needed to get over that line, and he did, and they've just carried it on. So yeah. So
quick question for you: the comparison you showed between Lingard and Willock, that was how many games?
Last six, sorry. Last six game weeks. Let me see if I can put it up again. Can you see it?
Back up.
Can you see it there?
Yes.
31 through 36, look. Home and away.
So I want to show you if I can.
Yeah.
This is wow.
If you want to put the screen.
I'm going to share. I'll share my screen here. Because I ran the comparison here with Saint-Maximin. It's very interesting.
Okay. There you are, mate. Should be right down. You got it?
It's there, right? You see it?
Wow.
Willock.
I know. That's what I mean.
Willock.
It's unbelievable. And the reason I spotted it, I'll tell you why, because the algorithm spat him out. That's why I'm interested, because when I did my algorithm this week, it spat him out. And I was like, huh? What? I need to go and look at this.
The robot.
Yeah, the robot spat him out.
So the one stat here that Saint-Maximin kind of eclipses Willock in is through balls. So that's it's not very helpful for FPL unless the three ball turns into some XA or something like that.
Sorry, carry on, mate. Carry on.
I was just going to say that the through balls are spiking, but the XA up here is not. So those through balls aren't turning into XA. And then if you look at Willock's stats, it's everything you want for fantasy. It's expected points. So I'm going around clockwise, starting at 12 here. Expected points, XG, big chances, shots in the box, shots on target, shots overall, and touches in the box. All favor Willock over Saint-Maximin.
Whilst we're on, can you check it against Smith Rowe?
Smith Rowe.
Instead of Saint-Maximin. So Willock against.
Oh, whoops, wrong one.
Yeah.
Oh, well. That's gonna.
Oh, there
Sorry
we go.
about that. Take Smith Rowe out of there.
Interesting to see how he comes out. Because Smith Rowe's obviously cheaper, right? He's also got his fixtures aren't brilliant, but they're not too bad. But we're worth having a look.
I mean, it's not even close.
No, exactly.
Right?
This is the whole point.
There's one more I'm going to check for people, and this is kind of a decision that I'm confronted with. Rafael Rafinha.
That's last 6. We need to extend it. You need to pull it out because he's been injured, right?
Right. But it's per start.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Go back 3 more.
My goodness.
So yeah. Rafinha eclipses him in key passes and crosses. It's got more touches in the box and more shots. But Willock is still higher expected points, higher XG, more big chances, roughly the same shots in the box, but more shots on target for Willock.
Yeah. There's a message from Nihal. Can you check Harrison against Willock? It's nice, this. I like it. It's a nice way of doing it. It's like answering questions as we're going on. And credit to Fantasy Football.
Exactly. Fantasy Football Hub. This tool is so good. Let me take Rafinha out of here. Wow. Let me bring it back to the last 6. 31. 31. So again, what Willock does, what he has that other players don't, is he's in and around the box, big chances, XG, shots in the box, shots on target, but he's not involved in any kind of playmaking or creating or anything like that. So Harrison has, look at the XA, big chances created, key passes, crosses. He's setting people up. Unfortunately, he's setting Shifford up, but Willock is.
Rodrigo now, actually.
Well, Rodrigo, all of that could turn into goals if Rodrigo keeps playing the way he has. But I mean, for goals and stuff, Willock seems the way to go. I was going to get Rafinha, but I think I might go Willock instead.
I might own them both.
So there it is.
Make fantasy fun again. No, maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm someone's asking, Mariner's talking himself into Willock. I'm not. I'm saying he's an option for you to look at. If you're looking for a differential, what I'm saying is Willock might be a man for the last 2 for sure. I'm definitely saying that, and I think that's the moral of the story here. Gabe, thanks. Let's just take that off for a second. We'll just go back to the thing and we'll move on, because the next thing we're going to look at now is the algo for this week. So this gives us now then starts to cement where we're actually looking again. So right, okay, and let's have a look at it. And it's picked Salah as captain. Okay. I still don't know what it's doing in defence. It still likes Everton, I'm afraid. But being honest with you, can we see Everton keep a clean sheet this week? You would look at the matchup and you would think, well, quite frankly, why not against Wolves? Why not?
Well, I mean, look at Wolves' attacking stats against Spurs. I think that's why not.
Well, they weren't. I mean, they had shot, but they didn't have a lot of XG, did they? That was the thing. I think from memory, I'd have to look back now, but from memory, I think I might have got that actually. Let me have a look. Wolves.
You mentioned it earlier.
I did have the tickers running. Here we go. They're there, but I haven't put them up.
There it is. Wolves, 12 shots in the box, 1 big chance, 1.04 XG. 12 shots in the box. I mean, unfortunately, they don't have anybody that can shoot right now.
That's true. That's exactly the point. and it was Spurs, who we know were not particularly very good in defence either. So, no, I mean, look, I'm not convinced about it. But look, this is who it's thrown out, so we're going to leave it in. We're going to let it keep churning these players out, and let's see how it does. So anyway, it's gone TAA, Coleman, and Dean at the back. In midfield, and this is where it's interesting. It's gone Salah, Willock, second. He's the punt though because of his rotation, right? So I think he's pretty nailed. So that's why I've left him in. Mane, Harrison, and Rafinha. Right? So that to me is a super exciting midfield. It's so exciting. I just wish I could own that midfield.
You can own it.
Well, I could.
Minus 12 incoming. Minus 12 incoming, Mariner. Let's go.
But no,
you know what? Maybe I'll do it.
Great.
What do I care?
Great. Yeah, doesn't it look great? Eh?
I think I might do that.
Yeah,
on the beach.
And then we've got Wood and Kane. Then we've got Wood and Kane up front. So, and on the bench we've got Kufal, Dallas, and again I fell off my chair. Shea Adams. Silence, stunned silence from Phoenix, Arizona.
well, here's the thing. I had Shea Adams in my free hit draft, if you remember. And you're like, what, are you trolling me? You thought I was trolling you.
You can't have him in there. You can't.
Then he trolled us both by scoring.
Yeah. So let's see how it does. I'm quite confident about it this week. I'm not confident about defence. And we'll have to look at that in the close season. But anyway, this is still work in progress. So don't kill me. Don't shoot the Mariner. But what I would say is that I think it's got some really, it's picked some super little differentials there. There's 4 differentials there potentially. Willock, Mane, Harrison, Rafinha. Really nice differentials for me. And I think any of those players could get a double-figure return this week, in my opinion. Looking at the fixtures. Okay. Yeah, he's just meowing. Did you hear him? So that's where we are with the Algo. So let's now go back to that thing. So right, I think what it's time to do now is to move across to the other section, which I think people will be interested in, which is the captaincy. And let's go. So let's start by looking how we did last week. Well, the community poll picked Salah. The Metric picked Jota, but of course Jota didn't play. So that resulted in the vice captain being Salah. So he came in. The moron Cat went for Calvert-Lewin. So he's now in disgrace again. And there's now a pair of slippers. Well, he's not, but you know, he may as well be. And the differential, I'm in disgrace as well because I went for Danny Ings. I think, to be honest, I think that, I mean, you know me, the champagne moment of net that hole this year was Surya picking Pereira for the differential captain. I reckon I might have just actually got close to that one with Danny Ings. I don't know. It seemed all right to me. It genuinely did.
Not to me. I
know you hate it, but you hated Gareth Bale the other week. Look what happened.
Well, according to our viewers, I hate everybody. they just tune in to see who I'm going to hate this week.
Right, come on. Now, what I want to talk about now is how the Metric's doing. And to be honest, if anybody's been following him on Twitter, you already know, because I've been shouting it from the rooftops today. Because the Metric is now on 622 points. It's on an 81% hit rate. It's projected to get 657 points at 17.3. Now, I checked Premier Fantasy Tools this morning. And if the Metric was a player, and of course it isn't, because it has the ability to change its team every week, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between people like me, you, and Ajit Dillon, actually, who was a good friend of the show, who is doing even, I think he's 660 points for his captaincy this year, which is insane. Incredible. So kudos to Ajit. But the Metric is actually 23rd in the world.
Jesus. That's incredible, and it's only the Metric's first season choosing captain. So
yeah, so there's all me saying, "Oh, we might change this, we might change that." Mate, I'm not changing anything. I don't care what you say.
I say leave it, right?
Yeah, totally. It's a fucking cat. But no, she's about to knock a drink over. No, seriously, it's doing super well. Now, obviously, what we might do is we leave everything the same, but what we might do next year, because fans are back, is we might start to use a more of a home and away sort of metric. And I'll come on to showing actually what I've done for one thing here with this week. And it just shows one difference to one particular player, but I think it's an important way of looking at it. But yeah, so the metric's done really well. You know, apart, it's still only 2 blanks since game week 18. So I think we have to listen to it. You know, I'm following it till the end of the season now. That's it. I'm not going anywhere away from the metric. That's it now. That's my job done. Right. Let's look on.
Can I? I just wanted to. So I'm throwing some questions from the chat from the chat there in our chat here. I did want to. Sean asked, "Is Willock filling in for Wilson? Is he playing that Callum Wilson spot?" And I just wanted to show the Willock's heat map because I don't think it's that simple that he's filling in for Wilson. And I know there's a little bit of a tangent. We can get to it later. Or you want to do it now?
Yeah, come back later because I'll go into because we can even call let's just leave it for the Q&As at the end. So
okay, we'll do Q&A at the end.
Yeah. So as you say, from my perspective, I'm at 570 points projected, 64% average point 15 per week. I've blanked a few more times than the metric, but anyway.
I won't say what I'm on or what I'm projected because I might have to leave the show and never come back if I do that.
You're not an expert. Don't you call yourself an expert?
I agree. I just, you know, there's the game and there's FPL, and I have no idea how to translate the two.
I think there's a lot of people in that boat this year, mate. I really do. Okay, let's go. Cat pick then. So the community poll this week, I didn't have time to put a eliminator out. I couldn't see the point. So I just went with Mo, Bruno, Greenwood, and Kane. Mo was a standout, nearly 50% of the vote. Hardly surprising, I think. But then look at that. Bruno 19.1, Kane 17.6, Greenwood 16.2. Very close there. I think it could be, and I think we might see something in a minute when I show you the metric. I think this game week is wider open than you actually think for a captaincy pick. I think there's a few. I think there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 or 7 possible captain options.
Willock
for me this week. I didn't mention him. He's not in the list. He's not in the list. But you can captain him if you want to make fancy fun again. But anyway, so I gave the cat 4 choices this week since I felt I was in a good mood. So I thought I'll let him have extra food.
So the cat gets to eat all the food, not just the one like.
Yeah, although we did run out of treats, so we had to hide his treats in a pile of normal food. So anyway, let's see who he picks. Fool cat. So
smart cat.
He picked Harry Kane.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's really screwed me up now because that makes me think I want to bring Kane in because the cat's been getting things right just recently. Apart from that Calvert-Lewin complete domination last week. But let's face it, I don't think anybody expected them to blank against Sheffield. Especially not me. And he missed a bloody sitter as well, didn't he? A total sitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Richarlison actually should never have even had the chance because Richarlison shouldn't have buried it anyway. That's the other point I would say. But so that's that. We're just coming up to the hour mark. So what we'll do now is we'll go on to the captain metric, and the captain metric just recently has had quite a nice record of picking differential captains. to the extent that people are actually looking out for it now to see who is the differential captain this week almost from the metric. And this week it is, I'm sorry to say, it's Mo Salah. It's boring. It's really boring this week. It's gone for Salah. But look how close it is. Salah,
it's tied, right?
Well, not quite, because he's above. But you could argue it's a tie. But strictly speaking, he is above it. If I open that decimal place out, he is above.
Okay.
If we look through it, I say we've got Salah first, Greenwood second, Mane third, 82, 82, 81. We've then got a small gap to Rashford and Fernandes, both 79. Then we've got Lingard, Antonio, 78. Bale, Kane, 77, 76. We've had this conversation before, Gabe, just earlier, haven't we? We're both a little bit confused as to why Kane still sits down where he does. But it's the fixture difficulty. Spurs numbers are just not that great, or they haven't been that great in the last 6 weeks, or 12, the last 6 weeks, sorry, I should say, with respect to the shots in the box, the big chances, and the XG, which is, of course, what that works on. But also what it looks at its form, and their form. Kane's form is 6.3, Bale's is 7.6 actually, compared with Salah's form 7.9, Greenwood 7.94. So his form's not quite there either, to be honest with you. But let's see. Just to put this in context, as always, guys, I like to give you the scores on the doors for last week. Okay, and last week Salah was 87, Mane 86, Jota 86. Okay, that was before I recalculated, and then Jota jumped above him. So that being the case, these are not as good matchups as last week. That's the thing. That's the first thing to say about this. So Salah's against Mane. Salah, he hasn't had double return in the last 12, but he's got 6 single returns, and his fixture difficulty is favourable. Mane has only had 5 returns. He's also got a bit more rotation, but I don't think he's going to suffer with rotation now because Jota's out, if you agree with me, Gabe. Greenwood, on the other hand, has had 2 double-figure returns, 5 single returns. His fixture difficulty is not too far behind them, and he's rested. Again, an interesting one. My note says should play.
After being rested against Liverpool, I think Greenwood will play. I just have to question kind of United. They have the Europa League final coming up. What do they really have to play for in the league?
Maybe not for as a team, but I think as individuals, I think players want to get on that team sheet for that final. So I think there's always that thing in the back of your mind saying, if I play really well now, then, I might get that nod for the final. And after all, any European finals have had fabulous achievement, right?
And that would be the case for Greenwood for sure.
I mean, Bruno's nailed anyway. Let's face it, they're not going to take him out. But
it's kind of Greenwood versus Pogba versus Cavani. Which 2 of those 3 will start, right?
So you can see there's still some opportunity for them to do something, and maybe that might be the difference. But the fixture difficulty you can see there is pretty green. It's very green for Liverpool and Manchester United. Not so bad for West Ham. Lingard and Antonio still not terrible captain picks, and then Bale and Kane a little bit lower, 105.2. Now look, Bale there 77. He's in the pack, I would say. But if I then changed this to a home fixture difficulty, you will see what happens. And that brings Bale up to 4th. And look how close it is. So now all the teams have got home and away fixture difficulties in. They've also got home and away. They've also got the relevant home or away form. And look at Bale's form, 9.58 against 7.6. He's better at home. We've been saying that for a while, right?
Yeah. For whatever reason, we've talked about like landmarks but
yeah. And Spurs' fixture difficulties improved a little bit as well because the home and away, rather than a combination to 109.5 instead of 105.2. And Kane is right on his coattails, just behind. So you've basically got you've almost got a dead heat here, is what I've been saying now. I don't think either of the Spurs, any Spurs pick, perhaps Son is further down because his returns have been pretty poor recently from the metric perspective, but I don't think, like you say, I don't think he's a bad option. So I would say Spurs are not bad captaincy options this week at all. One thing I'd like to ask you, Gabe, and I don't know if you had a chance to look, but this issue with Liverpool, what happens if Pope's out? Does that change anything?
So it does. Obviously, it does. I haven't looked at I can look at it really quick. The expected XG on target for last match compared to before. I have it here, expected for the last match.
Is that
here
it?
We go.
Add it to the stream. So now we're jumping to Scout, are we?
Yeah. Well.
Hello, Scout.
Unfortunately, Hub does not have an XG on target. From what I know.
Football Scout for this one.
Yeah, FF Scout for this one. We use all the tools. Again, we are FPL Robin Hoods, collecting all the tools and dishing them out to community here.
We do give credit. We do give credit where credit's due, okay?
That's right. The XG on target conceded 1.5 in the last match. So that's Peacock Farrell. Basically, what this means is for that it's adding XG for every shot. Once a shot is taken, 1 point, it's adding for in that match, it's added 1.5 XG because of Peacock Farrell. If we go and let's do a game week range, and I'll exclude the last match. Do 1, 2, 3. Just do the 4. The last 4 matches, excluding the match where Peacock Farrell played, which was 36. Oops, need to go to 35. Sorry, this is incredible podcasting and viewing here. There we go. Now we wait for the screen to load. We're losing followers by this second.
Oh, don't worry, we don't need to. We just got FPL banger. Burnley don't have a prayer of a clean sheet if Pope's out.
Well, that's one way to put it.
I think he's right.
So look at it here. This is with Pope. So this is with Pope. The XG on target conceded with Pope is 1.8, and it was 1.5 with Peacock Farrell. So honestly, Pope hasn't been the Pope that we're used to this season either. So I don't think there's much of a difference. I mean, there is a difference because we know Pope is better in general. Historically, he's better, but in recent form, there's not going to be much difference. And it's not good. It's, Pope hasn't been great, and Peacock Farrell isn't great. So that will continue.
I'm sure, and again, I'd be stealing someone else's material if I was to say it, but I'm absolutely convinced I saw a stat that something about crosses, that Peacock Farrell doesn't stop any crosses at all, whereas Pope, I think, does from time to time. I mean, look, I still think that for me, it's not just about the goalkeeper from the perspective of what he does. It's the perspective of how much confidence he gives his back four. And I think Pope is a better keeper for that reason alone. I think probably the back four played better. I go, with Pope between the sticks than Peacock Farrell from my perspective. So I tend to agree with Siver actually. Siver.
Yeah, this is just the crosses. If we're looking at like crosses and successful crosses, so Burnley is playing. Hold on, let me find their matchup here. Hold on. Liverpool, right? Liverpool usually is a team that crosses a lot, but this season, this hasn't refreshed. Where are they? They're like mid-table. Last season, Liverpool was one of the teams that crossed the most, and they're not getting that many crosses this season. Crosses, Liverpool. No, they are top. Sorry, the screen hadn't refreshed. So they are top by a considerable amount. They've crossed the ball 818 times this season. Second is Villa with 764. So they do get a lot more crosses off, a lot more successful crosses off. So yeah, that could be a good shout there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's go back to the metric. So there we go anyway. So that's what the metric says. So it's gone with Salah, then Greenwood, then Mane. But it doesn't change the top three if you put the home and aways in. But it does bring Bale into the mix. And that consequently also brings Kane and Son into the mix with respect to the fixture difficulty as well. So there we go. So let's see how it does. I will be on Salah for captaincy without a doubt. No doubt this week. And the next one, therefore, is the differential. And for this reason, and to annoy you deeply, Gabe.
Yep, I know it. There it is. What is that? That's not even a heart. What is that thing? It's like it's like butt cheeks.
It's near it.
It's like butt cheeks.
It's butt cheeks.
It's butt cheeks. You can't even do the heart right.
What are you doing? Butt cheeks.
What's this? What's this?
Oh my god.
It's not a heart, Bale.
God's sake. It's a Swag said it's a pretzel.
Fair enough. It's a pretzel. He's like for all my Bavarian friends, here's a pretzel. I don't know. Uh-oh.
Big 1.76. Yeah, why not? Takes a lot of shots shooting from outside the box, of course, and he's on target quite a bit as well, which is where we're coming with Gareth Bale anyway. But look, honestly, he is a homer. He's a homer. He is a homer. Yeah. He loves playing at home. He's a great shout. If you own him, he is by no means the worst captain shout this week. I wouldn't bring him in. But that's me.
I honestly, in full honesty, I mean, I know a lot of people know, everyone knows how I feel about Bale, but I hope he does really well. I hope he smashes it. That way we can sell him and he can just go home. Bale, go home. Go home. Stay home. Stay at Spurs.
Right. Anyway, so that's that then. So let's go now to the reviews. So we've got Catch the Captain. So we've got Community Poll, Salah, Metric, Salah, Catpick, Kane, Differential, Bale. 1 hour, 13 minutes. Let's take some questions and then let's get the hell out of here. So just whilst you're looking for questions, I'm going to say hello to a few people. So so we've got Edwin in. Hi, Edwin. FPL7764. Masha. Hi, man. Nice to see you've joined us this week after missing us last week. We did tell you off in Twitter. Shavran. Hi, mate. Rakesh. Hi, man. Shavran. Hello. Abhilash. Hello, mate. I think we've been for a while. Raj is in. Hello, mate. Nice to talk to you as always on the in the Crow's Nest. So do join us on Friday in the Crow's Nest. Friday lunchtime in Singapore. We'll be on Twitter Spaces. It's normally a bit of a giggle. Swang's in as well. Hello, mate. Nehal's in as usual. Harry's in. Hi, Harry. FPL Vigorish. Hello, mate. We've got Edwin Shubro. Hello, Shubro. Sean. Somebody thought it was Hibbo. It's not. It's a different one. I'm a different one. We've got Shakalaka Mekalaka. Hello, Shakalaka Mekalaka.
Nice.
I like it. I just put my teeth back in to say that. Sangit.
Penguin is in there.
Yeah. We've got Nehal. Hang on. Just going down the list. FPL Penguin. Hello, mate. I love you. Have you anybody seen Penguin's YouTube channel? I often watch it. I enjoy it. Good stuff, mate. Keep it going. FPL Banger, good friend of the pod. Hello, Siva. Are you joining us on Sunday, Siva? You need to answer us. We still need to know whether we're going to get a big first reveal of Sam. Astralicious is in. Simeon, hello, mate. We've got Melina in. Hi, Melina. How are you? I think she's in Canada. I think. Think so.
I used to live in Canada.
Okay. And then we've got Daniel. Hello, Daniel. How are you? Yakdan. Hello, Yakdan. And is that how I pronounce it? I'm sorry, I'm from Grimsby. I always get things wrong. Yeah. So we've got plenty of people in. So have we got any questions, Gabe? Can you see any? And if not, get them in now.
They are in the chat.
Right.
They're in our chat here.
Oh, they're in our chat. Right. Okay. Yep. Okay. So the first one from Shavran, Ferran Torres, a great shout, Gabe. So who's the next Hispanic superstar we should be looking at? So you've got now the opportunity to get all your accent out and the opportunity to try and pick a player.
Well, that's a tough ask. He's saying right there, surely not Miguel Almiron. No, if I would not go with Miguel Almiron. It's a shame Joe Willock isn't Jose, because we would probably go with him, with Jose Willock. Hispanic, I would say, I mean, it has to be Rafinha.
Rafinha. I would say Rafinha, you see. Am I saying it wrong?
Well, it's I don't know. It's weird. In Brazil, they pronounce the R like an H.
Yeah.
In Brazil, so like there's a beautiful place kind of on the coast in the north called Recife. It's Recife, which means reef, but they pronounce it Recife, so it's Rafinha.
Yeah, I'd call it Recife for sure.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah, Rafinha.
I think he could be a superstar in the making. He's amazing. Yeah. What was the team of the shirt again, Gabe? What was your shirt team?
This is Newell's Old Boys, the team of Maradona, the club of Maradona, where Maradona came from, Lionel Messi came from. But I'm wearing it because in homage to Marcelo Bielsa, El Loco Bielsa. This is his team. So
El Loco, the crazy bucket man.
That's right. The crazy man that can still squat like that at his age. I can't do that. I'll never stand up.
By the way, we're doing this on Sunday. We're going to have a squatting contest with respect to. We're going to try and do the bucket. We're going to try and do the bucket test live on our show on the matchup show. I'm not doing it because I'll end up in hospital and I'm the host. But you can.
All right, I'll give it a shot. But I also like it because the acronym is NOB. I just like NOB. NOB. Newell's Old Boys. NOB. Right there. NOB.
NOB. Sounds like I can't quite get Scunthorpe United into NOB. I wish I could. Anyway, people will know about that. If anybody's a Grimsby fan, they'll know I don't like Scunthorpe. Anyway, next thing. Nehal, what do we think about Nacho and Tielemans out to Antonio and Harrison for a hit? I mean, Nacho, I am umming and ahhing about selling him because, I mean, he's been the form player, right?
Yeah, and the way he scores goals as well, he can score them from nothing. His finishing has been really good. He creates space for himself in any moment. So I wouldn't rush to sell Nacho if you have big plans. I guess that would be okay. I see this as a little knee jerky and a little bit sideways. I think you should get rid of Tielemans because Tielemans is not he's as an 8, he's back and forth. He's mostly plays deep for Leicester. But I still think Harrison, I think, feels reactive to me. I think there are better picks than Harrison. And I think Willock is one we spoke about. I do. Yeah. I think Willock is better than Harrison.
I own Rafinha. So I probably wouldn't bring Harrison in for that reason. But I don't think he's a bad pick at all. He passes the eye test. And the thing with Rafinha is he's still a little bit, he's just coming back from that injury. So that's where I think it just levels it out a little bit. Interestingly enough, if I didn't own Rafinha, I might be tempted to go with Harrison.
If I didn't own either, I would. Still prefer Rafinha. I think he's a better player. I think he can create more. If I owned one, what's that?
Yeah, I think it's borderline. Personally, I just think with the, I think Rafinha's on his way back, but he still might have his minutes managed a little bit. I'm not quite sure. So let's see. But I think Harrison, I think, is a good option this week. But I think probably on balance you might go Rafinha. Antonio, I like. I still like Antonio. So if you're going Nacho to Antonio, I don't think I would turn my nose up too much at that, quite honestly.
Right.
That's my perspective anyway. Abhilash, 3 of Lingard's blanks has come against Chelsea, Brighton and Everton, all structured defences with little space to run in behind. Is this something we might consider? He's played deep though, hasn't he? Have you got anything on Lingard with respect to heat maps?
No, I haven't had time to look at Lingard's heat maps yet. I will do that this week. But one thing I will say is against when West Ham played Everton, did Everton play 3 at the back?
I'm not
because
quite
Chelsea
sure.
and Brighton both play 3 at the back, and it could be the issue when teams play 3 at the back. It's hard to get in behind, that back line, and so it's hard to get kind of any space in the box. So it could be a tactical thing, and Lingard might struggle against teams that play 3 at the back. Not sure. I'd have to check on the Everton one.
Okay. And there's the Willock filling in for Wilson question, but I've not looked at that, but I just think he seems to be playing fairly central, didn't he? As far as I can remember.
So right.
Have you got it?
It's Willock filling in for Callum Wilson. Here, I want to show you this. Am I sharing still? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my screen up.
There you go.
So look at his touch heat map. Willock is all over the place. He's everywhere. This guy. This is not how Callum Wilson plays. So if he is filling in for Callum Wilson, he's performing a different role than Callum Wilson is performing. But what I would highlight is, so remember, this is just touches. If we move to passes received, it's going to be similar. But you see how the kind of it disappears in the defensive area. So he is receiving passes in attacking areas. I'm going to go back to the touches really quickly here. What I like about the touch is these 4 green in the box. This is why Willock is super dangerous. All of this is just a destabilizing effect for opposing defenses. He's moving around the field. He's looking for the ball. So he's quite active, right? Which I like, which I like for his matchups as well. So I wouldn't focus on the deep orange here, because I think that's meant to be a distraction for opposing defenses in order to open up what's going on inside the box. But it's not a pure Callum Wilson role where he sits off the shoulder of the defender on that line. So
he's clearly not looking at that heat map, because Callum Wilson hardly ever goes into his own half, does he?
Right. He's Callum Wilson, and he's like the opposite of Connor Cody. Callum Wilson and Connor Cody like mirror opposites. One doesn't go into defense half, the other one doesn't go in the attacking half.
They get nosebleeds either side of the halfway line. Yeah, as usual. So, okay, that's great. That's a good question. I'll just remove this again then, mate. So we've got from Yakdan, start Dean or get Rodrigo in for Watkins. I mean, Ollie Watkins is just Mr. Consistency at the moment, isn't he?
Somehow.
He keeps returning.
When the entire team is crap, awful, yet the one talentless player on that team keeps returning for them. So,
dear God, oh yeah, I know. I have to say, I did watch the YouTube show of that person yesterday morning, and actually, there's a hell of a lot of humble pie being eaten. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, I can't call him the carpenter anymore. And you know me, I do things in jest anyway. But But no, I think he's super consistent. Would I get Rodrigo in for Watkins? If I knew he was starting, I might give it a run given those fixtures. But I don't think I would. That's me.
It's too much of a risk. I like the thinking. I think Rodrigo's exciting. He's the way he's finding form. He's really exciting, but there's just too much uncertainty. No, and Watkins has just been too steady.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a question from Sean. Is it Sean Q? On Bakar's thread, he said Willock plays on the side. Sheffield United and Fulham are vulnerable. Can the matchup king Gabe confirm this?
Good question. And I have zero prep, but I did hear. I caught a little bit of the FPL Wire live this morning when I woke up around 5:30. So, and I did hear Bakar talking about this. So I did want to look it up. So I'm glad somebody brought it up. Where are my here we go, matchups. Have you got my matchups table here. So we're looking at the left zone. Fulham and what team are we looking at here?
It was Fulham
and Sheffield United. So
Sheffield United, yeah.
So no team has conceded more chances from the left side over the last 6 than Sheffield United. So that's a good shout. We're looking at it right here. This is like really behind the curtains. This is my main matchups table when I write. I come here for the stats, and then I take this to the heat maps and I kind of like plot it all out. Like
this is behind the lens. So what's behind the lens? What's the bit
behind the lens?
We need to work that out next week. I did human biology as well. I can't remember what's behind it.
But here's Fulham. Fulham are pretty even. Chances conceded from the center zone 19, from the left 19, and from the right 18. So I don't think that's the case for Fulham. But Fulham's defense is changed. So this is the last 6, but if we look at Fulham over the last 3 maybe, or the last 4, I think this will be very different. So I can bring that up while we move on to the next. So in short, to say, yes, for Sheffield United, they concede more from the left side than anyone else. Fulham, not so much, but that may be skewed. I'm doing last 4 matches here, and then I'll update that.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll just keep looking through whilst you're doing that anyway.
Yeah.
So you've got. I'm afraid we've never answered Yakdan's question. So starting Watkins over Dean. Oof. Oh.
No, you have to start Dean. You have to, unfortunately, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would. Oh,
so
you know what?
Here, really quickly, Fulham on the left. Remember, so if you remember back earlier this season, I wrote a piece on when Man City was playing Fulham, and I said Fulham concede more from the right than the left. Do not play Mahrez. And sure enough, Mahrez assisted the assister, I think, twice that game, but didn't have any returns himself. And here it is, Fulham, chances conceded from the center zone over this is the last 4 instead of the last 6, 17. Chances conceded from the left, 9. Chances conceded from the right, 14. So they concede fewer chances from the left side than they do from the center and the right. So I don't think so. As far as Willock goes, not as great a matchup.
Okay, it's interesting. It's always interesting, that one. Okay, apparently behind the lens is called the aqueous humor. Well, I would say in the eye, but I would say it's more like gutter humor than aqueous humor, if that's the case. If it's me involved. Here's another question from Nehal. What do we think about Shaw without Maguire? Yeah, I have to say I'm a bit concerned about that, but I'm more interested in where's Shaw's attacking returns gone. That's what I'm bothered about, quite honestly.
So this is something to look at is has Shaw's attacking returns have they dried up with the emergence of Greenwood?
Right.
In the center or on the other side? Are they relying less on that left side to create chances? I'm bringing up Shaw right now, and I'll show you why. I mean, the loss of Maguire is very damaging for United, and I'll show you why in just a second. We talked about this maybe a couple of months ago. I did a matchups analysis on Shaw and the area of the field where he plays. It's quite similar. Whoop, my light went off. It's quite similar to where he plays in a similar area as Ben Mendy, and we showed last week. If this page will ever load, we showed last week how advanced Benjamin Mendy is, and what happens is Shaw almost doesn't come back into his own half. He plays very much in the attacking half, and what happens is Maguire slides in and he covers for Shaw quite often. Without Maguire there covering for Shaw, I don't know. Are they going to change the way Shaw plays? Or are they going to reel him in so his attacking returns are going to dry up? Are they going to just continue what they're doing and instruct someone else to help out there? I'm not really sure. So here's Shaw coming up. We'll do last 6. So here's its touch heat map. You know, it's like this is where Shaw lives, right? In this area, in the attacking half. This is where his recoveries are. But notice how he has no presence really near his box.
I recall you mentioning this now, and that's because he doesn't need to do anything, or he hasn't needed to do anything.
If I were to bring up Maguire's, if the internet was, if this would come up a little quicker, I would do it. Maguire, it fills in this whole area on the left side of defense. Without Maguire there, Shaw could be reined in. He could be told to sit in this area where he's recovering normally, so his attacking returns could dry up, or they might just say, screw it, let's just concede goals and score more. I don't know.
Yeah, as I say, I enjoy these matchups, but then I start looking at my own team and going, oh shit, that's my own shot.
Well, one thing is, always take the matchups with a grain of salt, because we're talking about real football here. And again, the translation to fantasy is something totally different.
Oh, yes, of course. We all know that, because we get these little fantasy returns, which, quite frankly, diggers right out of the shit, right?
Yeah,
Just got a couple more questions. Swangs had to correct himself. Apparently, it's the vitreous humour, not the aqueous humour. I still stand by the gutter humour. So we've got Suchet. I would say Suchet there. I'm coming into French now. It's probably not, but anyway. Mahrez, DCL, Jota to Mane, Bamford, and Willock, or roll, gain some more info, and go hits galore next week.
Oof.
Well, look, let's take this one by one. Mahrez, would you sell him now? My answer is no. I probably wouldn't. I think I'd gamble.
I'd sell him.
There's more bloody subscribers gone. There we go.
I'm gonna remind everybody.
No, you see, I've just got that funny feeling. I just think he might play, and for that reason, I think if I've got him, I'd probably hold him now. DCL, I think I'll sell. I think I'd sell him now. Jota, I'll definitely sell.
Mahrez to Mane sounds like so much fun on the beach.
It does sound fun. Yeah, it does sound fun, actually. It does sound a fun move. Bamford.
What doesn't sound fun is waiting to see if Mahrez is going to be on the team sheet. It's like
no, that's true. DCL to Bamford. Ooh. Well, look, who else has he got? I'm not sure who else he owns, but Bamford for me, his minutes are being shortened now all the time with Rodrigo. I'm not sure he's the best option. I love the Jota to Willock move. I love it.
Yeah.
Depends on what he wants to do. I think, well, you can. Look, you've got Mahrez who might not play, DCL who didn't play very well, albeit he did miss a sitter, and you've got Jota who's injured. So I think you're gonna have to move somewhere.
Yeah.
Depending on what the rest of the team looks like, right?
Yeah. I like the if it were a different player other than Bamford in there, I think I would look more favorably on this set of transfers.
DCL Antonio.
Yeah, throw Antonio in there instead of Bamford, and I say go for it.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. FPL Vigorish. Whoops, I've put the wrong one up there. It just moved up the screen. I think Rodrigo will start as number 10. Click's being given early leave. That's an interesting point.
I
don't know enough.
10.
What we're going to need next year is we're going to need to do what Planet FPL do. We're going to need some correspondence from each team that we can call on. I was been thinking about it. We need some inside information. I'm afraid we don't have it. Zaha to Jota from AHFC. What do you reckon?
Well,
Zaha to Jota? No.
You're not bringing Jota in now, right? Jota's injured. Yeah, Jota's injured. But if you're looking to get rid of Zaha, somebody to bring in.
Zaha to Rafinha.
Zaha to Rafinha. Zaha to Jose Willock.
Yeah. Zaha to Rafinha. I mean, they're playing Arsenal in front of fans. If anyone going to play up to the fans, it'll be Zaha, right?
But if they, so here's the thing: if they don't, how are you going to feel about yourself if Palace shows up as Palace and Zaha does nothing? You'll be like, well, I knew that. I should have changed it. It's just how you play. This is just depends how you want to play. I would make the transfer.
It's all the same. Yeah, we're rattling through these questions. DCL is playing in front of a home crowd. Does it screw your thinking? I think playing in front of crowds screws my thinking, mate. We've not seen crowds for such a long time. I have no idea how it's going to go. I don't think anybody.
I think what he means is, does it skew your thinking?
Oh, it's screw. Oh, it's a skew. Over here. Wait, what time is it here? It's 12. Does it screw your thinking? Yeah, it does. It still skews and screws. Yeah.
Skewing and screwing.
Oh God, it's fucking chaos. It's chaos in here. It's just going to get worse when you see the next question. Because Jameson, if you had to use a cake to describe your team week, how would you describe it? Oh, for crying out loud! What cake do I have? Oh God!
Does he mean this week for 37?
To describe your team this week.
This one's easy for me.
Go on.
All right, I gotta reach over, get my beach hat again. It's absolutely a pineapple upside down cake that I'm gonna be eating at the beach, because my season is upside down pineapple from the beach. It's perfectly set up for my pineapple upside down team this week.
Right, I'm gonna have to come back to this question because I haven't thought of an answer yet.
How about Mariner for you? I got one for you.
Go on.
Profiteroles.
Profiteroles, yeah.
Profiteroles, yeah, stuffed with cream, chocolate covered.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, but what's this? I mean, I'll tell you. Now I've got it. It's not a cake, but it's something different. It always goes wrong. It's a souffle. So it looks brilliant on the outside, but you get in the middle and it's a load of shit.
It's curdled. When I make souffle, it curdles. It's like scrambled eggs. So. Right.
Anyway, let's just finish these last few questions. We knew it would go stupid. Hang on. What? Now it's just all piss takes. Now we've got Astralicious wanting to sell Salah and get Pereira. Are you mad?
No, West Brom will not be playing Liverpool every week, so that don't do that.
No. Right, here's a normal question. I haven't had a drink yet today. It's a school day. I can't drink on a Monday. Start 5 defenders. 5 defenders. Digne, Shaw, TAA, Dallas, and Rudy. Would I play Dean, Salah, TAA, Dallas? I would play Dallas. I would play TAA, and I would probably play Shaw. I'm not sure about the rest.
I would bench Rudy, play Gundogan.
Yeah. So I don't think I was that fine. No, I think I still think that there's more chances of if you're going to get the points. I think they're going to come from the forward players as what we saw earlier on with the matchups, right?
But and that's why we chose those 4 defenders, right? Dean, Shaw, TAA, and Dallas, because they are attacking defenders.
Yeah.
Except for Dallas, he's just a midfielder.
So he's a bit confused. Well, not only a bit confused, mate. Suchet's a bit confused. Are we going for the Mahrez, DCL, Jota to Mane, Antonio, Willock?
I say do it.
You're saying do
it, but I'm on the beach. I'm just looking to have fun. So it kind of depends on your situation. If you're not on the beach, you may want to be more cautious. You may want to save a transfer for 38. I think that's a good idea. But I love these transfers. I think they'll pay off.
I mean, look, they're good moves. They're all good moves. I'm just not sure I'd do all 3 of them.
Right.
I would probably, again, the one that I'm thinking of, I maybe wouldn't do is the Mahrez one, but you don't agree with me. The other 2 I would probably do, I think.
Right.
But that's again just my perspective here. I think it'd
awesome.
be stupid if we didn't agree. Well, bloody hell, is someone trolling me? Johnny Weller, Watkins to Joe Linton.
Don't do it, Johnny. Don't do it.
Again, every time I talk about Joe Linton, my chair collapses. I don't think so. I mean, that could come back and absolutely hard. But look, if Joe Linton scores a hat-trick, I'll run around with my boxer shorts on my head in the end of season show. I'm that convinced he won't score a hat-trick.
All of a sudden we have a bunch of people that can't make the end of season show, Mariner.
It's all right. I will just have boxer shorts on my head. I will have clothes on.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Fair enough then.
With 2.3 in the bank, I can do Jota to Willock or Bale. Oh, look at that. Gareth Bale. 1 week crazy. 1 week. It's not a crazy punt. 1 week run on Bale.
So I think this one's for you. This is your boy Willook against or your differential captain. Bale.
I would say, what else do you need to do with the money apart from that? Because Bale's going to be an expensive asset. You're going to move him on next week.
Yeah, you're going to have to get rid of him next week.
Yeah, you're going to move him on. Whereas Willock, I think
you could do Jota to Bale and then Bale to Willock.
Because they're playing away at Leicester, aren't they? Last game of the season, and that's a Harry Kane. That's a Harry Kane game for me. It's just got Harry Kane all over it for me. That's why I'm seriously thinking about bringing Harry Kane back in. Right, a couple more questions. Got small league in the mini league with cash up for grabs. Not allowed to play for money.
No, I think the player card for Matt Cash.
Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. Anyway,
that's what it is.
We don't know about that. But TAA and Shaw are locked in. Strike, Holding, or Rudy. This one's for you. Strike, Holding, or Rudy for the last spot.
Hey, well, I will say that the metric says Holding. Metric says Arsenal have a good defensive matchup this week.
Whether he keeps a clean sheet or not,
I'll tell you what, I brought Alioski in 2 game weeks ago, and he scored 11 points since I brought him in, and he's sat third bench both game weeks. I say Strauk. Strauk leads to get another clean sheet.
Guys, loads of questions tonight. Take a hit for DCL to Antonio. Willock's already in for Jota from Daniel. Probably not. No.
Don't take that hit. Don't take that hit.
No, I think I'd probably hold. Nehal, what's our thoughts on hits in the last 2 game weeks? Probably game week 38 for me. If I need to, if I'm in with it, if I need to defend a mini league or attack a mini league, I will do it with. If I need to, may take hits to actually neutralize or try to neutralize the team below me, or equally to try and attack it. So that's where I am, because I've gone off. I was leading all my mini leagues by a long, long way, and I've crashed down, and now I'm just about 10 points behind in one and about 50 points in front in the other. So it's the trouble. The trouble is if you do it 1-1 with I've got one way, one the other, I might just carry on as normally. But anyway, yeah, I don't think I'd do too many hits. So second second last in my mini league. Confused. I should full send it. this week on it. I don't understand that one. It's too late at night for me. I can't work that one out. Right. Okay.
And too early in the morning for me. So.
And too early in the morning. Right. Last question, then we'll get out of here. Jota and DCL to Kane and Rafinha -4. Good to go. Yes for me.
Yes. Yes, Masha. Do it. Get it done, Masha.
Yes. And that's that. I think we'll have to knock it on the head. We've been going for 1 hour 45. We've done loads of questions, which is nice.
It was the timing was good in terms of the content and stuff, and then we just had great interactions and questions from the viewers. So thank you everyone for sending those through.
Yeah, I hope we've not confused you too much.
And Mariner are not wearing jerseys from the same club, by the way.
No, this is Grimsby. Look, it's the
non-league
team, league, national league, national league. Anyway, enough of that.
All right,
mate. As always, an absolute pleasure to have you on. It's been a while since it's just been us two, actually. But
yeah, it has. This was fun.
At the same time, it's still fun. It's always nice to have guests on, but equally, it's nice to have it's nice to just have you on as well. So yeah, what else? There's not an awful lot else to say really, apart from we are Net That Hole, and yes, we will be back on Friday night, right?
Yep.
With the very last matchup show of the season. I think we've been going since game week 20, so this will be about the 18th show. Compass show is not going to happen. There's just no point. We can't get people together. We haven't got the time to do it. So what we'll do is we'll just do very similar to this week, and we'll see if we can get a guest on. And then of course we'll see you all on Sunday for the grand finale. And we've got a few guests, and we'll see who else we can get on as well.
We'll have a fun watch along. I'll be doing kind of real time tactics and stuff like that, and kind of matchups as we watch. And of course, there'll always be a laugh.
Speak for yourself. I'll be asking people what drink I've got to make.
Well, it'll be early in the morning for me, and
hopefully Baker will join us, get me to make a cocktail up or something like that.
I'll be making micheladas. Look them up, micheladas.
Right, okay. Anyway, right, let's get out of here. Guys, as always, please do hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. Please hit the bell for notifications. Please put us in your ears for a pod when you're walking your dog, or as Gerby's on the beach, or wherever you are. Hello, cat. And yes, we will see you on Friday night, and we just wish you green arrows, and we hope that you net that haul, and hopefully some of these little differentials which we've thrown out at you tonight help you with your mini leagues. All the best. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.